Just want to record this video on a perfect time to show you how news affects the market movement and other stuff. So you can, if you're on our Telegram group, you will see the signal that I sent today based on Euro USD. I send them signal for buying trade, so which we hit 60 pips profit. Then so we just had a 1:30 news noon today, so it's really spiked. So let me just show you how the news affects. So this is the setup that I always teach you about. After the break of structure, your higher time frame, there is your, so this is your demand zone, and this is my POI. Then the market switch to my POI. We start buying from here. Then after that, this is our liquidity zone. You can see your SRO flip zone, my R1, R2, R3, so many touches with my Asian range consolidation. Then the market hits their stop loss, then we buy from here before the news came out. So let me just show you how the news affects the market. Is that this movement that you are seeing right here, this movement that you are seeing right here from this zone, because the news came out 1:30. I have set up on Euro USD and also AUD USD. So these are all base. These are all base currencies. So Euro USD is the first currency and the dollar is the second currency, Euro/dollar. So this is the dollar news that you have today, the 1:30 news. So you can see the actual is the green 0.7%. The previous is the brown candle, like oil brown candle, which is 0.6. So now not telling you know that 0.7% is higher than 0.6. Understand? So so what do we how do we check when you want to trade, or when you want to get out from your setup, or how news affect the market pips? Is that once the actual is released, the previous is the last actual price of, or the last actual data that they delivered or they released. So once a new news is already coming out, then the actual data becomes the previous. So this previous now is already made, is already released data, so we are waiting for the actual. So the actual came out by 1:30, which is 0.7. Then once it came out, it means that this actual is higher than the previous, so that the market is going to spike down. Understand? So since we are trading Euro USD, any currency pairs that is XX/dollar. Understand that X, when I mean SS/dollar, is any currency, both Canadian dollar, Japanese dollar, yen dollar, anything dollar, anything, any base currency/dollar is now going down. Understand? So what's the effect? This is the effect. This candle here is the effect of everything that happened by 1:30. So you can see from 1:30 here, this candle pushed down and it's still going down. It's pushed down to this point. This is the effect of news. This is what the news always do. Once the market is moving on its direction, you can see that we get out from the position around this zone, because we had a zone here. Because I always tell you that you can take your profits with your arrow, with your risk reward, or your old supply or demand zone, or you can still take it based on your calculation. Understand? So you can see the zone really affects the market. So what's the entry confirmation, which I'm going to tell you, is that news can be in positive or be in negative direction. You understand? It can move in positive or negative direction. So always, once you enter a trade, if you have entered already and the news is about to come out, all you need to do is to break even, close your partial profits to the next entry point. Nice setup for the day. It's a really nice setup of today. We had a good profit of the day. So how do I explain this setup? Is that we had to double top here. We had the retail traders start buying from the market, or did they start buying from here? Then they are early to the market, so the market created a lower high, then push down to push that their stop loss. That's why I marked this two equal lows as a liquidity zone, then gave us a impressive move with an imbalance. Imbalance means insufficient price created. So what is the next you are looking out for? You're looking out for liquidity before you enter. So after the build up of the liquidity of this SR flip, which is your support, and here becomes which is your resistance, and here these so many touches becomes your support. That means SR flip, when support becomes your resistance, then I marked it as my supply zone. Then the market, what are you still waiting is that this zone from here, from the beginning of this zone, from the beginning of here where the market closed for the day, which is your section range, to this zone is your liquidity area, is your Asian range area. Then what does the market do is that the retail traders start buying at this zone. They also start buying at this zone. Then the market push down, hit their stop loss, and start going out to their direction, which is very, very annoying if you are trading a retail concept. So I just want to clarify you with this news release, so that I would have done this video and the other day, but I just waited so that we have a good confirmation, a good setup for a news, which you can see the effect, which you can see how the market moves after the news was released. After the news was released, it's pushed down. Understand? So this movement is also applicable to other pairs. You understand? That is USD. If the pair starts from USD/SS, that means it's going up. It will go up. This down candle will be a up down candle. Since it is SSUSD, it will start selling. So let's call it a day on this moment.